As far back as its presentation early this decade, the Audi A7 has conveyed believability to the four-entryway car idea, on account of the Auto's triumphant blend of sumptuous refinement and dawning character wrapped in some especially bring-in sheet metal. For its subsequent exertion, the A7 develops, apparently, considerably more good-looking. However, there are more noteworthy changes underneath its naturally squeezed skin. The measurements firmly impersonate those of the friendly Auto, however the outline utilizes more fresh lines and sharp edges. The model is again a hatchback, and at the trailing edge of the liftgate is a spoiler that conveys at 75 miles per hour flanking the lower, more hexagonal grille. The A7 offers 3 diverse front lamp setups, standard LEDs, lattice LEDs, and network LEDs with laser high bars. The last 2 are up till now unsubstantiated for the US showcase. The taillights, which traverse the width of the Auto, comprise of 13 component units at each side associated by a LED focus strip. The front and back turn flags illuminate consecutively, and when the Auto is bolted or opened, the front and back lights play out a little garish movement. The A7 imparts its engineering to the upgraded 2019 A8 and the up-and-coming cutting-edge A6, despite the fact that the sub-8s have fundamentally less aluminum in their last form. The stage's features incorporate a 48-volt half-and-half helper framework, more prominent self-driving capacity, and an upgraded MMI interface. For our market, the A7 arrives in a solitary mechanical design with a 340 horsepower turbocharged 3.0-liter V6, which supplants the 2018 model's supercharged 6 of a similar dislodging and yield. It's combined with Audi's 7-speed double Grasp-tronic transmission instead of the 8-speed customary programmed utilized beforehand, and quattro all-wheel drive is standard. Out and about, the A7 deftly mixes clean and execution. The transmission's light throttle upshifts are everything except vague, to a limited extent on the grounds that the motor is so calm, and its low-speed conduct is sufficiently smooth to go for a torque converter program. However, it's additionally snappy to snap off downshifts when asked. The Turbo 6's most extreme torque comes online more than 1,500 revolutions per minute lower than previously and crests at 369 pounds-to-foot, up from 325 beforehand, and it's accessible over a wide traverse from 1,370 to 4,500 revolutions per minute. The strong V6 successfully propels the lighter new A7. Audi claims a 4,001 pound control weight for the Euro spec form, a lessening of more than 150 pounds, and turbo slack is negligible, if not by any stretch of the imagination vanquished. The motor's adaptability and the transmission's responsiveness imply that there's little need to waste time with dynamic mode, which holds tight to bring down riggings superfluously long. Or on the other hand, pick your own particular proportion with the oars or the shifters in addition to short entryway. The powertrain's standard 48-volt half-breed component is to a great extent undetectable and will be especially so in US Autos. The framework's regenerative braking recovers up to 16 strength while decelerating, stores it in the 48-volt battery situated under the payload floor, and bolsters it to the motor's crankshaft by means of a belt-driven engine generator, which likewise works as the Auto's alternator and stop-begin motor starter. The crossover framework doesn't build the powertrain's most extreme yield, however torque fails to diminish apparent turbo slack in the V6's workload, including enabling it to stop down altogether for motor drifting, a capacity that is consistent yet one we won't arrive. For us, the main advantage of the 48-volt framework is that it permits the auto stop-begin highlight to work all the more easily and all the more regularly. Namely, that framework can trigger a restart when the front-oriented radar sees that the vehicle ahead starts moving, as opposed to sitting tight for the driver to lift off the brake. In the US, the A7 will offer a decision of standard steel springs or a versatile suspension with air springs, as on the Autos we drove. Audi claims its Drive Select framework now offers more noteworthy separation among its different settings, and the comfort mode unquestionably gives the best ride quality while as yet keeping body movements very much controlled. In auto and dynamic modes, the 255/40 R20 Michelins recognize asphalt blemishes with a strong thud. The dynamic setting adds some weight to the generally excessively light guiding yet doesn't offer any striking change in taking care of, not that it extremely needs progressing. As uncovered on a progression of S-twists and bends, the A7's body hands over with newly discovered excitement and cuts corners like an alpine skier. The Autos we drove, be that as it may, had the advantage of four-wheel guiding, which won't be offered on A7s in the States, in spite of the fact that we may get a component on the anticipated S7. Audi's Level 3 independent driving capacity is another component not going to the US, at any rate not until the point that the administrative mists scatter. We didn't get the chance to encounter it, however tried out the versatile voyage control with unpredictable usefulness. It takes into account use in city movement, despite the fact that if the auto is halted for more than a couple of moments the driver needs to push the quickening agent or flip the voyage control stalk to move once more. We found that voyage-controlled ceasing presented a vibration that was absent something else, and the driver still must be cautioned, in light of the fact that the versatile journey can be discovered resting when the auto it's following pulls off the street, uncovering halted activity ahead. The path-keeping help, which works autonomously of the voyage control, can self-guide for a couple of minutes on end, however it doesn't complete an awesome activity focusing the auto in the path. The A7 additionally will offer self-stopping ability, including from outside the auto through a cell phone application. The more noteworthy innovation is inside the lodge, where 3 liberally measured screens are close by to wow showroom goers, 4 on the off chance that you check the little touchscreen that works the back atmosphere control. Before the driver is Audi's commonplace 12.3-inch virtual cockpit configurable instrument group. It's joined by a completely new MMI framework that jettisoned the fly-up show and turning controller for 2 touchscreens with haptic input that are completely coordinated into the dash plan and inclined toward the driver. The 10.1-inch upper screen is utilized basically for the sound framework, the guide show. In spite of the fact that the guide likewise can show up in the virtual cockpit, the camera encourage, and to modify the auto's numerous settings. All atmosphere control capacities move to the 8.6-inch bring-down screen, with fan speed and temperature movable by tapping or by swiping. The lower screen additionally is the place one can finger draw contributions for Google or route seeks. The framework perceives entire words, not only one letter at once. Furthermore, the atmosphere control show, the lower screen can demonstrate customized alternate ways over the best, 4 at once, in up to 8 groupings, for 32 and up to. The easy routes can be radio presets, route goals, or telephone contacts. In the new framework just the volume handle gets by, alongside fasten to call the driver help menu and the outside camera sees. The outside cameras might be the neatest new component, offering the 3D perspective of the auto that can be controlled to perceive what's by the vehicle on any side. What's more, among the different 2DCs, front, raise, overhead, is one that can give a best down take a gander at the front or back haggles you when you're going to control an edge. In spite of the fact that the framework's usefulness is incredibly upgraded, MMI, like all touchscreens, requires a larger number of eyes off the street time than do physical controls. Likewise, the vast lower screen implies there's no place to put cell phones and shades other than in the cup holders, the entryway pockets, or the cubby under the middle armrest. The armrest canister likewise is home to an inductive charging cushion and 2 of the 4 USB ports, with the other 2 being in the back. As we've generally expected in an Audi, the inside materials and outline execution are to a great extent unquestionably sound. On our illustration, smooth cowhide secured the dash and the entryway tops, with micro-suede on the roof and the entryway boards. Lighting that layouts the edges of the rear and the highest points of the entryways looks cool around evening time, however in the daytime the abundant brushed metal trim can annoyingly mirror the sun. Audi could cut out partially more backseat legroom, which is presently liberal, in spite of the fact that headroom stays negligible. The back seat has safety belts for 3, overlay it down and the freight hold offers 49 cubic feet of room, or a still noteworthy 19 solid shapes behind the back seat backs. This upgrade keeps up the A7's trendy great looks while supporting its deck remainder and polishing its drivability. Indeed, even with some of its new components beyond reach to Americans, the A7 again shows the best contention for the German sugary treat that is the 4 entryway roadster.